Hello everyone and welcome back to Royalty USA. I am James Carter and today I want to ask you something very personal. Think back to a time when you were away from home, maybe a work trip, maybe visiting family in another city, and no matter how wonderful the experience was, no matter how beautiful the place, how meaningful the work, how warm the welcome, there was a moment, a specific moment, when you thought about home, about the people waiting for you, and everything else suddenly felt a little less important. Princess Catherine had that moment in Italy. She had just completed two of the most extraordinary days of her royal life. Thousands of people had chanted her name in a medieval Italian piazza. She had received an honor that no British royal had ever received before. She had sat in school gardens and held creatures in her bare hands, and made Italian teachers cry with her presence and her curiosity. She had been called La Principessa dei Bambini, the children's princess, by the Italian press. She had been compared to Diana. She had conquered a foreign city and left it completely in love with her. And then she rushed home, not slowly, not leisurely. She rushed, because waiting for her in Windsor, in the quiet, beautiful life she has built away from the cameras, were the three people who matter more to her than any piazza, any honor, any chanting crowd in the world: George, Charlotte, Louis, and William. Today I want to tell you the real story behind Princess Catherine's return from Italy. Not the official version, not the palace press release. The human version, the mother version. The version that will tell you more about who this woman truly is than anything else I have shared with you this week. So stay with me, because this one is going to stay with you. Let us start with what Hello Magazine revealed this week. And I want you to hear this clearly because it is one of the most beautiful sentences I have read in years of covering the royal family. Hello Magazine reported that while the Italy trip was a massive professional milestone, her first official overseas visit since 2022, we know that the forever home reunion with Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis was the moment she was most looking forward to. The moment she was most looking forward to. Not the primo tricolor honor, not the crowds, not the Italian press calling her the new Diana, not the teachers, the school gardens, the farmer's lunch, the medieval piazzas. The moment she was most looking forward to was walking through the door of her home in Windsor and seeing her children, forever home. That is the phrase Hello Magazine used, forever home. And when you understand what those two words mean to Princess Catherine, when you understand what home has meant to this family over the last 2 years, you understand why she rushed back to it the moment her work was done. Cast your mind back to early 2024. Princess Catherine underwent major abdominal surgery, and then 2 months later, in a video filmed in her garden, the garden of that same Windsor home, she told the world she had been diagnosed with cancer. And in that video, she said something that I have never forgotten. She said, "It has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis in a way that is appropriate for them, and to reassure them that I am going to be okay. Reassure them that I am going to be okay." She was a mother facing cancer, and her first thought, her most pressing concern, was her children. How to explain it to them, how to make them feel safe, how to protect them from the fear that their mother might not be there. That is Princess Catherine. That is who she is at the core of everything. Before the title, before the duty, before the elegance and the public role and the royal mission. She is a mother, and her children are everything. And then came the months of treatment, the chemotherapy, the recovery, the long, quiet, private season of healing inside those Windsor walls. George, Charlotte, and Louis were there for all of it. They watched their mother fight. They watched her rest. They watched her slowly, carefully, come back to herself. And Princess Catherine watched them too, growing, changing, being brave alongside her in ways that children should never have to be brave. Hello Magazine also revealed something this week that I found deeply moving about Princess Catherine's return to public life. They said that we are seeing the princess at her most natural and most vocal, more open, more present, more fully herself than she has been in a very long time. And after Italy, After 2 days of being completely, joyfully, unapologetically herself in front of the whole world, she came home to the people who have always known exactly who she is. No cameras needed. Now, I want to tell you something about George that I think is important for understanding the urgency of Princess Catherine's return. Woman and Home magazine reported this week that George, who is now 12 years old, has recently become a weekly boarder at Lambrook School. That was his own request. He is growing up. He is beginning the journey toward independence that all 12-year-olds start. And what that means practically is that the time Princess Catherine has with him at home, the school-run mornings, the homework evenings, the weekend family dinners, that time is becoming more precious, not less, because soon it will be less frequent. Soon he will go to senior school. And the family unit that has held together through cancer and chemotherapy and recovery and comeback, that unit is quietly, naturally, beginning its next chapter. Royal author Ingrid Seward, speaking to Hello Magazine, said that the Wales family are, in her words, a tight family unit. She said the three children get on incredibly well, that they are close in age, they all enjoy sports, and they are bound together by the situation they are in. And I think those words, bound together by the situation they are in, are the most honest description of what this family has been through. They have faced something enormous together, and it has made them closer, not in spite of the difficulty, because of it. And William, let us not forget William, because while Princess Catherine was in Italy, Prince William was holding everything together at home. He was doing the school run. He was making sure George and Charlotte and Louis knew exactly where their mother was and what she was doing and why it mattered. He was, by every account from those close to the family, showing their children exactly what it looks like to support the person you love when they are doing something important and difficult and brave. William did not go to Italy with her. He stayed, and staying, choosing to hold the home while the person you love goes out to change the world, is its own kind of heroism. On the day Princess Catherine landed in Italy, William was in Birmingham opening a mental health center. He was doing his work while she did hers. And every evening of that trip, according to sources, there were phone calls, not briefings, not check-ins, phone calls. A husband and a wife talking across 1,000 miles about what their children said that day and what she saw in the school garden, and whether Louis had eaten his dinner, and whether George was adjusting to boarding school, and whether Charlotte had done her homework. The ordinary, irreplaceable, completely private conversation of a family that loves each other. And then she came home. Royal commentator Rafe Haydel-Mankoo, speaking to GB News this week, said something that I keep thinking about. He said that much of the public could now see Princess Catherine as not just a future queen, but as a wife, a mother, and a woman who has had great difficulty, but has seen it all with grace and dignity. And now, by stepping back onto the international stage, he said, she is sending a message of quiet strength and resilience and continuity. Quiet strength. I love those words, because Princess Catherine's strength has always been quiet. It is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not give press conferences about how hard things have been, or how much she has sacrificed, or how much she deserves credit for what she has endured. It just shows up, in the piazza, in the school garden, on the floor with the children and the insects and the magnifying glasses, and then quietly, without fanfare, it rushes home to make sure the children are all right. That is the reason she rushed back from Italy. Not because the trip was difficult, it was extraordinary. Not because she did not love every moment. She clearly did, but because home, that Windsor home, with the school run, and the puppies, and George asking questions, and Charlotte laughing, and Louis being Louis, that is where her heart has always been. That is what she fought to come back to during those months of cancer treatment. That is what gives the public work its meaning. You cannot be the children's princess to the world if you are not first a mother to your own. And so when the car drove away from Reggio Emilia and Italy fell a little quieter and the cameras turned to their next story, Princess Catherine was already thinking about home, about the moment Hello Magazine described perfectly, the forever home reunion, the door opening, the children running, William waiting, the ordinary miracle of a family that has been through the worst and come out the other side, still there, still together, still home. That is why she rushed back. That is the reason that will melt your heart, because some things, the most important things, are not fit for a piazza or a palace or a press release. They belong to a living room in Windsor, and to 3 children who were waiting for their mum to come home. I am James Carter. This has been Royalty USA. If this story touched your heart, and I genuinely hope it did, please give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and subscribe if you have not already. Tell me, what moment from Princess Catherine's Italy trip moved you the most? And did you know that the reunion with George, Charlotte, and Louis was what she was looking forward to most of all? I read every single comment. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and I will see you in the next one.